Anybody up for Dwarf Fortress? I know I am, which is why we're here. Now, before I usually go through a playthrough, I go spelunking through the Legends viewer, which is the utility here. And really, one of the things that immediately sticks out is half the world's population is goblins. Now, those green boogers are probably waged a couple wars, but interesting thing here, if you check out the number of civilizations, goblins actually don't have too many civilizations. Humans, kobolds have even more civilizations than the goblins that are in-game, but the kobolds only make up a tiny percentage of the world population. Now, a quarter is humans, and then the biggest is goblins, with the last quarter made up of elves, dwarves, and kobolds. Good for the goblins. I mean, a lot of players like to go on genocidal campaigns trying to wipe them out. So good on them. You found a world where you won. Now, checking out the civilizations, the certain breed diamonds. This is the first time I'm actually looking through here in the certain breed diamonds. Can you even breed? No. It'd be fun if they made a mod where you can breed diamonds, I guess. And the whips of ambiguity. That is a civilization I would not wish to visit. Because you never know if you're being whipped or not. Now let's see, there's 170 wars, 1,079 battles, over half's unnotable. And a bunch of sites, historical figures. Now, site populations. Goblins have the most. And you'll see here that there are more horses than dwarves. There are more horses than dwarves in this world. Oh my. I mean, honestly, what are those goblins doing? Are they going at it like hamsters or something? And if you're wondering, I know that no one's actually watching this, but if you're wondering why I sound funny, it's because I'm a bit sick. And the show must go on at least, so let's check out the map. Haunted area there. Nice little landmass here, and there's another one down here. Nice little oceanic volcano there. And a lot of goblins there. A couple smattering of goblins there. Those gobos. Looks like a human area. Dwarves. More goblins. Honest to God, why the hell are there so many goblins? Well, let's check out civs and entities. And I think that's enough spelunking for now. If I find anything else interesting, I'll record it. But yeah, this is the Enchanted Dimension, which we're going to have a playthrough soon. I hope you guys enjoy. So you know how I said we're done spelunking? Well, I guess I lied, because I actually figured out how to actually use the Legends Viewer utility. So we are looking at the squeezing conflict. I did a medium length world gen, which is 250 years, so this is a pretty late war in this history. And it's by the elves against a goblin civilization, and the elves killed off almost 20,000 goblins. I mean, looking back here, you'll see that there are about over 200,000 goblins. So it's not a whole lot, but remember, there's only like 41,000 dwarves, so that's... The goblins took a pretty huge beating there. And let's see, there's 20,000 kills on their part. They won 5, they pillaged 1, and they took 1 city, I believe. And the only thing the goblins managed to do is win twice and killed almost 2,000 of them. So this is a major elf victory. And I think I spied an elephant being killed. So let's check a couple more. I'm sorting these by death so we can see the biggest and coolest conflicts. Here's a little overview of the map. So this is about halfway through the history. Some humans attack the elves. Is that the same civil... no, those are different civilizations. But that humans killed 7,000 elves. And remember, the elves didn't have too many to begin with. Like, that prior conflict is a huge victory on their part. And here, the elves killed 6,000, so it's a little more even this time. But the humans pillaged 6 cities, and they took over 15. And yeah, this civilization doesn't look like it's doing too hot. Now let's see. I mean, looks like they've had druids up until now, but is this civilization even existing nowadays? The glows? No, the glows are still around and kicking. Embrace of glows. So they're not huge on the totem pole, but they're still kind of interesting. War of Danger. So it started pretty early in the history by some goblins on the elves. Now this is the good stuff because I'm wondering how the heck the goblins managed to kill so many elves or managed to get so dang huge. Now this is from that goblin-infested area that we looked over a little while ago, and they've been attacking some elvish areas over here. So the goblins managed to kill about 4,000, rounding up by a lot, and the elves managed to kill about 3,000. They didn't take anything, and the goblins pillaged 159 areas. That is kind of a big deal, because the elves didn't take anything, but they managed to kill almost as much as they killed them. But still, that's huge. And so there's a bunch of trolls in this goblin army, and it looks like they have an Olm giant on their side. Now I'm wondering if that's because they managed to take over an area with Olms or something. And now the Savage War, and I think this will be the last war I check out with you guys. It started pretty late, not too late, and it's by humans on the goblins, the Brutal Devil. Is a demon taken over? Because an interesting thing about Dwarf Fortress is that they have amazing world gen. And sometimes demons take over goblin civilizations to lead them. It's almost enslaving the goblins. Now, there's 2,500 kills on the humans. They killed the goblin. The goblins only managed to kill 700. Now, this is very interesting to me, because most of these kills are huge and heavy losses on the goblin part. I mean, goblins managed to pillage a whole lot of areas, but most of the kills are by other civilizations inflicted on them. So I'm guessing that the goblins either abducted a whole bunch of kids, or that they went at it like rabbits trying to outbreed everyone, which they achieved. 200,000 goblins compared to 40,000 dwarves. I really hope they don't invade us over and over again. I'm honestly wondering why there's so many kobold civilizations when there's only 4,000 kobolds compared to the 200,000 plus goblins. Honestly, you're not that important, kobolds. No one can understand your lisp. And now let's look at historical figures. An interesting thing I like to do is checking out the deities. And sort by events. Okay, let's see here. It's a deity that occurs. The associated spheres is sacrifice. And it looks like a bunch of books were written about her. Yeah, it's a her. It's a civilization of humans, human deity that's female. A lot of books. Even more books. Okay, Youth, Fire, and Sun. So the deity that glorifies sacrifice has more books written about her than some guy who's the sun god. I mean, most human mythology in our world glorifies sun gods, so this is kind of pretty interesting. And sorting by events, because the more events about a deity, I guess that means they're more important to me. Twilight, now that's an interesting sphere. And I am so excited for the artifact and myth gen updates that Dwarf Fortress is going to have. I mean, oh my god, have you seen Toady, what he's planning? Oh yeah, it's going to be awesome. So, let's go on. Now, most of these deities are for humans, and this deity, Death. So I'm guessing this is the Necromancer deity. The Strapping Skull. Okay, I guess this is a legendary Electrum slab. I guess it has a strapping skull motif on it. It's created by Niffle, which has a bunch of spheres associated with him. And there's a human necromancer that learned from this guy. So that's the main necromancer guy. If we want to become necromancers, we're going to have to steal something he probably made. Oceans and rivers. Now, okay, so
all these deities up here, they're human deities, and finally we managed to get to one of the dwarves. The maroon lenses. Let's see what kind of civilization you have. I really like these maps that Legends Viewer makes that they took from the Legends. I mean, it's just interesting seeing how they kind of connect together and what they look like. I don't know. I guess it's just me. Not a lot of people like to go spelunking because it's really hard, but Legends Viewer makes it a bit easier. They have a bunch of current leaders. They worship all these guys, so they mainly focus on minerals, metals, wealth, fortresses, war, jewelry, jewels. Don't ask, one of my friends. Mountains and volcanoes. So typically dwarvish. They have a bunch of sites, and they have actually a couple elves subpopulation. There's only 6,000 of them, so that's a bit over a tenth. 3 goblins. Only 3. Reminds me of the Legend of Drizzt, like he's the only drow that doesn't want to be a drow. That spawns so many bad characters. I mean, honestly, I like Salvatore as much as the next guy, but did you really have to make such character bait? I'm just tired of drows popping up everywhere. And let's get back to that. Silver diamond. Associated with wealth. Gee, I never would have thunk. And it looks like there's a bunch more dwarvish deities here. Now I sorted by events because I guess the more smart people that made stuff toward a deity, I guess that means they're more glorified. I mean, if we sort by battles, like the oh, none of the deities were in battles, that's why. So I guess if you want to sort deities, you should go by events so you can see which deities have the most books written about them. And I guess the way you personify a deity and understand a deity is understanding what the people actually make about them. Like what's left behind is how we understand the mythos of a civilization. So this, I took a history class in sociology, so I enjoy this kind of thing. Yeah, all sorts of interesting things. The Handel cremating civilization has a female deity called gravel crystals with the associated sphere mountains. And I think this is the last one I'm going to see because most of these deities are very uninteresting. I guess I'll check out a couple elf forces. Now, associated sphere, constellation, squeezing empire, human, and it doesn't. I guess this is the diplomatic god, because a goblin wrote about her, glorify and praying to. So we saw a human civilization beating up a goblin civilization. Now let me check the wars events. I don't. Okay, so the way I see it, that goblin that authored that book, he was probably from one of the wars where they really beat up on goblins. So when he has migrated to a different human civilization, he wrote a book about this deity of consolation, trying to ask for forgiveness so the humans will actually take pity on goblins. That's how I see it. And let's see, forces. I mean, there's a bunch of dwarf gods, but there aren't many elvish forces. Forces said to permeate nature, worshipped by the butterfly mornings. That's actually a clever, pretty cool name. Nature and rivers, it's still sorted by events. And toads and nothing more. A musical composition. So not only are these books, but these are also songs. And I just love Dwarf Fortress because you get all these interesting things. It must have been styles. It was authored. Now that makes me. Oh, it's a musical composition. If it turned out to be a book, I'd go, whoa, you're some sort of heretic, because elves don't like chopping down trees to make paper and all that. Even though dwarves use kind of pigtails to mash it up. So I guess they are okay with dwarf books, but for the most part, elves don't like anything to do with chopping down trees. The birth of martial prowess. Now this seems very malicious, and this is a nature and rivers force said to permeate nature. It's a vicious poem. Now I'm actually interested in this guy. So he's glorifying and praying to him. And we see the parents there. And he was a former member of a dwarvish civilization. He's a member of the godforsaken ghouls. Now what? It's a performance troupe. So he pretty much quit all the other civilizations and became a performer. And I don't see him in any wars, but I like to say that he probably saw a war going on, like really early, like probably like one of the first wars even. I mean. And she hated the other guys so much she wrote a vicious poem and asking for this force to like give her martial prowess or something. Cool thing about Dwarf Fortress is you can make your own stories if you want. And the container and the vipers. Paint trouts. That sounds like a rainbow trout place. Yeah. I mean, never mind. Teebles. It's a kobold. A kobold actually became part of a civilization. Good on you. No one can understand you, but good on you, bro. And let's check out a ghost. There's no ghosts. Good for them. Bunch of vampires, though. Whole bunch. And let's check out werebeasts. I lost a fortress to a weregila, and I'll never live it down to this day. I mean, honestly. A weregila. Oh my. And I guess this is like an overview of the curse, how it spreads. I mean, at least I like to think of it that way. And I think those are death symbols. Oh my god, this is so cool. So this deity cursed this guy, and he infected these kind of peoples, and it goes on and on. And these guys all died, so this branch of the curse died off. And the only living survivors are these two humans. I mean, if I interpreted it wrong, feel free to say, but I highly doubt anyone's going to watch this. This is just so cool. You can actually see the overview of the sickness. Oh. Okay, let's check out vampires. Do we get an overview of the vampire curse like that? Oh, yeah, we do. So, human deity, I guess, cursed this guy, and he's still alive to this day. So he's been on for about 100 years. 120. Journey pets, bear, grizzly, and jaguar man. Whoa. I know some civs are okay with slavery, but that's not the dwarven way. We just work you till you die. Kind of like communism. So, I guess... oh my. Oh my. He is an administrator. This vampire is actually in a position of power. So he's probably never going to get accused of vampirism. I mean, that's just so cool. Oh my goodness, I love this utility. Let's look. He died. Oh, that's unfortunate. Well, not really, because vampires are a plague upon the land, and anyone who says otherwise probably actually made a vampire dwarf that managed to perpetuate their civilization to ad infinitum. What the heck is that symbol? I don't know. So, I think I'll wrap it up for now. And thanks for spelunking with me. And I'll tell you what kind of fortress playthrough I'm planning on going through, but it's going to be a doozy. And thanks for watching.